all day?
Not on the court.
Okay. That's good. One more.
How come you don't do that on the golf course?
So, yeah, come on.
Grass.
Come over here real quick, Warren. So, real quick, I want to, before we get into some technique, I want to go just kind of go over the setup and show you guys like what I like to do and why. But when I set up, basically, you know, I like my feet about the distance of the glove. I like them really close together. And I like my hips, I like a little bit of an open stance, 5 to 10 degrees open. So, you know, if this is square, I'm just going to be a little bit open. So that's really the what I try to do. I also try to get most of my weight more on my left side. You know, some people say 60-40. You know, it's hard to put a number on it, but I definitely feel like most of my weight is on my left side. You know, you can't go. I'd rather you do something like this than go more on the back. So, some people feel better standing 90-10. Some people say 60-40, but you definitely got to have more weight on the left side. And basically, what I'm trying to do with these shots is I'm going to hit these shots with body rotation. I don't want to use my hands too much like this. Okay. So when I'm trying to hit these shots, I get a little bit open. My feet are together. I stand really tall. One other thing you guys may notice is I like to get, when you look at a dress, a lot of people set up like this, but I like to get the toe down a little bit. And what that does is, if I have the toe up in the air, it's going to have a tendency to snag more on the hosel or catch grass like that. When I get the toe a little more down, I'm always going to sweep. So my misses are going to be even limited. So, and it simply looks like this. If I, which we've all probably done, or you've seen guys set up like this. You see how the toe's up in the air, my hands are really low. And then the first thing is they're going to want to catch. So I try to get it pretty square, but if anything, I feel like the toe is down. That's, you know, maybe not every pro will tell you that, but that's something that I try to do. That's something that it really helps me out. It's hard to hit a miss and dig into the ground. And again, the other thing that we're going to try to do is the club is always going to stay in front of us when we're chipping. And what I mean by that, if I take the club and I put it in my stomach here and I make a swing, you're going to notice the club never leaves my stomach. Did you guys notice that? Okay, so I'm basically going to chip like this. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to turn through. And yes, there is a little bit of a weight shift on this little shot here. We're not going to hit these shots like this and go backwards. Anybody here do that? Only one? Okay, that's good. So that's basically what we're going to work on. And then also, while we're doing this, we've got to have good tempo. We can't be jerky or fast. This motion has to be fluid. Got to be very smooth. It's got to be the same going back, same coming through. So that two things you got out of this today would be hit these chip shots with body rotation, and the tempo would be the same going back and going through. So we certainly don't want to go like this and get yippy and fast. We want everything to be nice and slow. So those are some of the things that we're going to work on today. And as we're doing this lesson, I'm going to go around and watch, and some might need a little more help than others. And we'll address those issues. Is there any questions about that stuff? Have you heard anything like that before? Or is this all old news?
Now with the toe up like that, more upright, it will not snag as much.
Yeah, if you look at it, from kind of this angle, I'll try to show you. But you see how the toe's up?
Right.
See how it wants to dig? So if you get it more on, you know, and I hate to admit it, but you know, some pros would probably shut their eyes at this, but I like to get the toe down like this, where it's always going to be sweeping. I'm never going to get it to dig like that. So I've already eliminated one big error that happens a lot. I mean, how many times have you seen your buddies or anybody that you played with, maybe even yourself, you set up like this, and then you catch that hosel catches the ground and you're done. So if we set up right, that's going to be eliminated right off the bat. You know, I tell the students to err on a little bit too much while they're learning this. You really can't. You're just going to clip it more. You know, and a good solid shot should be where we just kind of sweep the grass like that. We're not going to dig in. Okay. So that's the stuff we're going to work on today, and then we'll go ahead in just a minute and have you guys come over here to these stations and start chipping.
Stands and club placement for every type of line.
I pretty much play this, yes.
Uphill, downhill.
Yeah.
Side.
It might not be as extreme with a downhill or a uphill lie, but yeah, I try to adapt the same setup. I'm always, for me, I always grip down a little bit. I try to stand nice and tall. I'm still going to have an open stance and all those things that we covered, whether it's a downhill lie or out of the rough, you know. And this is really, really crucial to hitting off a tight lie or even something as tight as the green. You don't want to be digging in on those shots. So.
When you get your stance, do you have the ball? And I tend to get up near, I have the ball right on my front left foot.
Yeah, I would try to keep the ball position the same. I generally have it probably just inside my left foot here. I mean, there are times I'll play a shot like this if I really want a low running shot, but my normal setup, it doesn't really matter what the club is going to be inside my left. Well, my feet are so close together. I'm going to try to get it inside the left foot. So my feet are like this. It's kind of pretty. Here, is this a little bit better? Does that help now? But I definitely want to avoid this setup. You guys see the difference there? You'll probably feel a difference.
And your takeaway?
I just try to, again, I just try to feel body rotation. I don't try to feel like my hands are doing a whole lot. I really don't want my hands active on these unless I'm trying to, hit a shot where I need extra loft. But yeah, I don't want to feel like I'm using my hands too much. The weight, I did notice Glenn has a little bit of a tendency on those first couple shots to kind of hang back. So, it's going to be important for Glenn to get that weight a little bit more forward so he's always striking down. That's why we want to do that. Okay? Stop there. Okay, so go ahead, let's get some balls.